Hey everyone, today we are putting together this frozen icicle tablescape, which is part centerpiece, part table runner, just beautiful tablescape for winter. By now, if you're putting this together, please make sure you watch the tutorial on how to put together these frozen cylinders with the icicles in it, and then also there's a separate tutorial up on how to create these kind of icicle looking inspired napkin folds. I promise they're really easy. So to get started, you're going to need some mesh deco garland, but not the neck deco mesh that comes in a ball. I got that last year from Hobby Lobby. I also picked up these cool light covers from an estate sale. They're optional accents, but if you have something like an ornament that can be substituted in, I would get that. I have some blue old lights and some tinsel garland with a little AB in it. And essentially what you need to do is kind of detangle all three of your elements. That's going to be the base of the runner, because we're going to kind of wind them together. So you're going to have that kind of multicolor white mesh garland, and then the blue lights in one row, and then your tinsel garland in another. And what we're trying to do first is just cover up the lights so that that wire, that black or green or whatever wire, isn't as obvious. And all I'm doing is playing with layering different amounts of mesh over the lights and intertwining the tinsel garland around and over and underneath it. So it's not anything like a clear pattern, because that to me, I don't like how that looks. But something where they're just kind of weaving in and out together. And for my this mesh, this soft mesh, if you have to use more than one strand, just twist them together to connect them, and it'll move on continuously on the line, no problem. And it'll help cover up the wires in that area. So you can see some of the areas are covered better than others, but you know, it doesn't have to be perfect, because inevitably you are going to see a little bit of the wire, because I don't think you want it too tall with the mesh. But just get the wires covered with that white kind of mesh first before you add the tinsel, because you want to have a general shape going before you add the tinsel. The tinsel should be the last part that you add. Now for me, I have a draping over the sides because these are not wireless lights, so I have to have them plugged into the wall behind us. So I have garland and mesh hanging down the edge of the table to cover it up. Now, hopefully by now you've already watched the other tutorial on how to create these cylinders with the frozen icicles in it. You should have 5 total, depending on how long your table is, 3 tall and 2 short. The sizes doesn't matter as long as you have a little high, low, high, low, high, setup. So what I thought I would start with, it was the high one in the middle, and then just kind of space out the other ones evenly. And what I'm doing is I'm rotating it from the left side to the right side of the garland, so they're not all on one side or the other side. This adds a little nice depth and interest to the table, so no matter where you're sitting, it looks nice. So now I have these light covers, like I mentioned earlier, that I picked up from an estate sale. Totally optional, but I think they just add a little nice accent and little interest piece. But if you found some nice looking ornaments at a local store you happen to have that kind of have an icicle feel to them, I totally recommend inserting them if they are not going to detract or anything. You just want something that just kind of mixes it up as a little hidden gem. Now, what I'm doing, and just so you can be mindful of if you add anything in, is make sure you place it evenly, so on either side it's proportionate. And I'm making sure that the ends of these accents, or in this case if you use an ornament, are pointing out and away from the middle, just to kind of keep it cohesive. So we've got some on the front, and I'm going to put this last one here on the back, get it in, and then just kind of finesse. Make sure you walk around your table, see where everything needs to be sitting. I have, most of this table is reused stuff or thrift store finds. I have these glass chargers that I found at Goodwill, super cheap. I shared them in my sea glass tablescape earlier in the year. And then do my kind of icicle inspired napkin fold. It's a similar napkin fold to what you've seen online probably before, but I like that it's laying down. Plug in your lights, and enjoy the glow of this tablescape. Make sure to like and subscribe so you can take a few minutes out of your month to see when my next tablescape is uploaded. I always try to get a DIY element or a how-to so you can see how I put some of these thrift store based tablescapes from my 2017 tablescape challenge together. As always, like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and leave me a comment down below on what's on your holiday table this year.